Lights, camera, action!
I've been on a mission, little baby, don't think that I'm just pushing you away. She know how I am, so whenever I'm down, she asks me, am I okay? And she know I'ma always say, yeah, I'm sorry, little baby, for lying in your face. And it hurts so bad for the woman I miss, I gotta go visit her grave.
So I recently took a trip to Memphis, Tennessee. It's actually my second trip to Memphis this year. I took a trip earlier in the summer and I'd never dropped a video about it, but I did get a lot of footage. I meant to put a video together and just never did. And maybe I'll get around to doing that. But yeah, I just got back from Memphis. Well, not just got back, but I got back maybe a day or so ago, which is why I did not upload any videos last week. The goal was to try to have some videos up so that, hey, keep this going, remain consistent or whatever. But I just wasn't able to get the videos, done before I left. So I was just like, whatever. And, this most recent trip to Memphis was just a whole ass comedy of errors. And what I want to say is that my first trip to Memphis, that was nice and planned in advance. I was just like, yeah, I'm going to go see family, hang out, just whatever, spend some time there, spend some time outside of Los Angeles. But while I was there, they were just like, oh, by the way, your niece is getting married in September. And I was just like, wait, what? She's getting married? And, I knew that she had this boyfriend and I knew that they'd gotten engaged, but I was not expecting the wedding to take place so soon. So when they told me, I was just like, well, I had not planned to come to Memphis for a wedding in September. I'd wanted to go to Atlanta for my birthday, which is in September. I also had wanted to go to New York in November. And so I'm just like, wow, okay. And if you're wondering, you're just like, well, Jay, how could you not know that your niece was getting married? They hadn't sent out the invitations at this point. As a matter of fact, my niece was just like, yeah, I don't think I have a current address for you. So can you make sure to give me your current address so that when we do send out the invitations, I can send one to you? So yeah, it was just like, for me, sure, they'd been planning this for however long they'd been planning it, but for me, this was very last minute. This was very kind of like, oh, so I had to just kind of rethink some things. The trip that I wanted to take to Atlanta, I couldn't do Atlanta and Memphis. I'm not made of money. So the plans that I actually did have for Atlanta, I had to cancel. I had the hotel and the rental car and everything. I was just like, well, I need that money back. It was just a lot of just shifting a lot of things and taking the time off because I'd already taken off time from work for my birthday. And I had a couple of days that I could spare to take time off for the wedding. So I did that, even though I was only in town. I was only in town for 4 days, but really 2 of those days were travel days. So I was effectively only in Memphis for 2 days, and 1 day was eaten up by the wedding completely. And the other day was pretty much a recovery day. But it was a good time. It really was a good time. I was really happy to see a lot of family that I hadn't seen in a while. It was great to celebrate my niece and her new husband, my new nephew. The venue was beautiful. It was the Brooks Museum of Art. We were outside in this outside space. They did not want any photos or video taken of the ceremony, so I have no footage of that. But not that it really mattered because, oh man, comedy of errors. So flying to Memphis was actually pretty smooth. There were no issues. Got to LAX, stopped at this bar or whatever and had breakfast and a couple of drinks. That breakfast was expensive. Get to the gate, whatever. Flight was cool. Had a layover in Denver, and the flight was a bit behind. So like once we got to Denver, it was really just like we got there, had to hustle to my connecting flight, but you know, it was fine. And then got to Memphis. And again, everything was cool. Picking up the rental car, getting to the hotel, smooth, smooth, smooth. It wasn't until I got to the hotel that I realized. So I'm out here and there's this nagging feeling like, damn, you forgot something. You forgot something. And I'm just like, nah, but I had my checklist and made sure. Man, I fly all the way out to this motherfucker. And I checked my camera bag, and my camera is there, and the lenses that I wanted to bring, and my memory cards. But you know what I don't have? I don't have a fucking battery for my camera. Don't have a fucking battery. I was like, God damn. I was like, you know what, it's fine. I went like on Best Buy's website and I bought a battery with the hopes that I'd be able to like get it and charge it in time for the wedding. I wasn't able to pick up the battery like that. Like it wasn't going to be available for pickup like that night. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'll just pick it up the next day. And I still wasn't all that like alarmed or bummed out because yeah, I had my little Canon joint. I love this Canon PowerShot V10. I was like, I got this. This'll be fine. Y'all, I don't know what is going on with this thing, but it has started to act up. No, like last week I took this with me to Hollywood and it was working like in the ride. When I got to the bar, it would not turn on and I was just like, damn, did I forget to charge this? And so when I got back home, you know, I charged it and noticed that I had to like reset the date and all that stuff. I was just like, okay. This time I made sure that this was fully charged and it just would not work. It would work like sporadically, and I noticed that every time it would cut on, I had to reset the date. And it just lets me know that there's something going on with this thing. It's just not working reliably right now. And so like after the ceremony, you know, we had the reception and everything. You know, I tried to use this to capture memories and it worked for a little while and then it stopped. And again, I know it was fully charged, so I don't know what's going on with this, but now I can't even rely, as much as I love this little camera, I can't rely on it. So yeah. Oh, and by the way, I did pick up the battery, the single battery for the Sony camera that I'm shooting on. And I tried to charge it as quickly as possible, let it charge up for as long as I possibly could. And when I got to the wedding venue and I put the battery in the camera and I turned it on, it had only charged to 5%. So the comedy of errors continues. The battery that I got did not charge in enough time, so can't even film nothing with the big camera. So I got the little joint out and I'm hoping that this will at least last long enough to capture something. Getting footage this trip, it just wasn't going to happen. I mean, sure, you know, I used my phone for some stuff. For my niece Alexis. Hi. What's up, YouTube? Subscribe to my channel. Trick number 5. This one is number 5. But I hate using my phone. It sucks. And I mean, you know, aside from the wedding, I didn't do much, you know, just really didn't have the time to like connect with anybody. Didn't see anybody outside of family and really didn't see family outside the wedding. I did get to indulge in some of my favorite terrible fast food that I can only get in Memphis, or stuff that I can't get out here. You know, I went to Crystal, if you guys know what Crystal is. I love Crystal. I have a thing for Crystal and White Castle, but I love Crystal. Hit up Captain D's. Love Captain D's. Went to Dixie Queen. Had to hit up Dixie Queen. Although I'll say this, growing up, I loved getting like a cherry slush with the Dixie Queen combo. And so that's what I did because I haven't had Dixie Queen in years. And I tried that cherry slush and it was just pure sugar. I couldn't take it. That first sip was it. I was like, oh no, this is not for me. I can't do this no more. Trying to think of where else I went. Had barbecue at Corky's. Corky's isn't my favorite barbecue spot in Memphis. I actually prefer like places like Interstate, Central, Tops, but whatever, Corky's was close. And I was just like, Corky's is cool. So I went to Corky's and, it was fine. It was fine. Got the dry rub on the ribs, pulled pork, and, just the usual kind of like sides. So it was cool. I did hang out a few nights at this bar in Midtown called Madison Tavern. It was a cool little spot. Probably went there like 3 times, but those 3 times I got to know like the staff and they were all super cool, giving me drinks. And like on my last night there, I'm chatting with, one of the bartenders. Shout out to Richard. Rich was just like throwing me drinks. He remembered my drinks. He's just like throwing them down and everything. Even when they closed the joint up, me and him were talking. So he was just like, no, he's like, you're cool. You can stay. I'm just like, yo. Shout out to Madison Tavern. I like that spot. Oh, and the drinks. The drinks were wildly inexpensive. I mean, for my customary vodka soda, I paid about half what I would pay here in Los Angeles. And that was dangerous. But it just makes me, just made me think. I mean, just everything overall, I'm just like, Memphis is, it's pretty cheap. It's pretty cheap. And I'm having those thoughts. If I do leave Los Angeles, where would I go? A pit stop in Memphis doesn't sound too bad. I mean, at least for like a year or so. Oh, I also saw One Battle After Another. And I'm going to say this. I enjoyed the movie. And I came out of the movie like really high on it. Just like, yeah, like, yo, this film is excellent. It was never, I never said it was the best film of the year. I still think that's Sinners. But I was like, yo, this is a cool film. I dig it. But the more that I've like sat with it and everything, while I still think it's a good film, the performances are great. I mean, across the board, everyone kills it. There are things about the film that I'm just like, I don't know, see it if you want. I think it's a good film, gorgeous, great performances. It's hilarious to me. But yeah, it's lost some of its luster for me over the past couple of days. So I don't know. It's probably in my top 5 films of the year. It's probably gonna win a lot of awards. That's another thing I'm gonna say. Again, I feel Sinners is still the best film of the year so far. But I think that it just feels like a lot of the awards chatter seems to be on One Battle After Another now. So I wouldn't be surprised if like that's the movie that gets awarded like all the big stuff, best picture, best director, whatever. Ryan Coogler's still going to get his Oscar though. If for nothing else, best original screenplay. But in a just world, next award season, Sinners would dominate. And yeah, that's kind of it for my second Memphis trip. Nothing too exciting. I mean, aside from my niece's wedding, that was very exciting and very beautiful. And once again, congratulations to my niece and my new nephew. Shout out to my family. Love seeing y'all. And yeah. Also, just one last thing. Now that we are in October, I am doing Sober October. I knew that I was going to be doing a lot of drinking for my birthday, which I did. And I also knew that there would be a lot of drinking done at this wedding, which there was. Just say all that to say, I got like a lot of drinking done over the weekend, both at the wedding and at the bar. And I think I'm good. For now. So yeah, Sober October. So you won't be seeing me like, hanging out in Hollywood or at least hanging out at the bar for a while. I know some of y'all are going to be like, that's a good thing. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. This is water. That was water. This is coffee. That's it.